Hello again, everybody. Barry Hyatt here in Scottsville at the University of Kentucky Extension Office with my good friend, Janet Johnson.
Hi, Barry.
How are
It's
you?
great to be here. Yes, happy spring to you.
Happy spring to you.
Wonderful.
Of course, we're getting lots of spring showers lately, but also in the springtime, we like to talk about spring salads too, don't we?
We do, but today we're going to vary, and I'll hold up the traditional spring salad, and we look at some of the things that are in. You have little green onions that everyone has, and asparagus, of course, kind of a star of spring. But then there's also, again, what we call those leafy greens, those dark greens that we think about with fall, but they're here in the spring too.
Right.
Like a rainbow chard and kale, along with so many more. So today, though, we're going to take a salad and we're going to heat it up. We're going to do a stir fry. So if you're tired of salads, you know, for a quick supper, pull out your skillet and let's kind of show how to use the same ingredients that we do for a cool salad into kind of a warm stir fry. And it's really, really easy.
Sounds really good,
so let's kind of talk about that. With stir fry, of course, what you want to do is you want to heat some oil till it's very hot because you are stir frying, and we want to work quickly. So this is a very quick technique, absolutely. So you want to get your skillet. Now I have a stir fry skillet, but you can use a big skillet, electric skillet, but what you want, because you're going to be cooking rather fast, is you want something that has a large side and even a sloping side that allows you to stir without the food kind of jumping out. So that's why investing in a stir fry skillet is sometimes a really great purchase if you can go ahead and have that if you plan on doing it. So let's get started, and what we've done, we've chosen, like our salad basket that you just saw, we've done asparagus. Now the recipe that we'll show will actually cut that into half-inch pieces. I tend to cut them a little bit larger. Because one, I don't want them to cook down too much, and two, I kind of like seeing the shape of the asparagus, Now that means I may have to stir a little bit longer to kind of get it. Now, formerly on the program, Barry, we've talked about grilling asparagus.
We have,
And that's where you take the whole stalks and then you can eat them whole or you can cut them too. So this is kind of going in the reverse where we kind of cut them first and then we're going to quickly fry them. Now, along with the asparagus, we're using green onions. And, you know, if you purchase green onions, you usually are going to get a bunch. That can be anywhere from 5 to 6, depending on the size. And I don't like to waste, so I just use the bunch. The recipe may say 4. Use the bunch.
Why not?
And the asparagus, the recipe will call for about 3/4 of a pound, but it comes in a pound. I don't like to waste. So I tend to use it all.
Well, you know, you might as well, honest to
And
goodness.
especially if it's very tiny, young, tender asparagus, because that's going to cook quicker. So I tend to use it all. Now, to add some oomph, and this can be kind of a main dish, it calls for mushrooms. The recipe on the screen will call for that, but we're going to use a portobello mushroom to really give some protein texture. And that will make it more of the main dish sort of stir fry.
They're quite thick, aren't they?
Yes, they're very thick. They have a meaty texture. So portobello mushrooms. But you can use the regular white mushrooms or another mushroom, your fave like that too. Now we're going to add a little color today. You can choose to use aroma tomato, which you would use a couple and cut those in like half-inch pieces. I tend to like it to add a little more flavor by using salad tomatoes, where I can use different colors. They stay intact. This is the last thing you really add when you're working with stir fry. And so I like to use those and just cut those in half and have them ready. So
I did not know that there were actually the yellow or orange cherry tomatoes. I did not know
they're
that.
Also purple and even some green. So look for your varieties, little green salad tomatoes that have a very sweet texture. Lots of different varieties out there. So you can even get a variety pack if you like that from many types of growers. So that's what we're going to do today. One variety I know is often called a Martha Stewart. My parents grew the little tiny yellow miniature salad tomatoes. That was a variety developed and named after Martha Stewart. And they were very, very sweet, so they were very tasty. Okay, what we're going to start with, again, we put a little bit of olive oil into the skillet, and when I say a little, that's a couple of tablespoons, you know, at most. A little oil is going to go a long way. And I'm going to kind of turn the handle around here, and I'll let you help me, Barry. So we're going to start by dumping, and you can go ahead and put that in. The asparagus, and we'll talk louder, and the green onions in together, okay? So what I'm going to do, Barry, and I'm going to let you kind of do, is we simply stir until tender crisp.
Okay.
Yes. So the objective really is to fry them. But as you keep working with the vegetable, the steam and the moisture from the vegetable will actually begin to kind of evaporate, and so the vegetable will lose size.
Okay.
So what starts out as a large amount of vegetable very soon will not be. It just will go down.
So it's not a very long process.
It's not a long process. Now, we lost a little fella there, but you can see how we just keep stirring from one side to the other. And that's why this large skillet is so much easier to work with. Notice it has a longer handle too, so that you can work with it, you can move it, you can shift it. It's really good.
Now I'm noticing that the oil pretty much is gone now. Do you need to put in more oil at that point?
Not yet.
No?
Let's just keep going and let the moisture kind of work.
Okay.
Now, another ingredient that we're going to add that on the recipe the folks will be seeing is an ingredient that calls for chicken broth, sodium, low sodium soy sauce, a little garlic, a little ginger.
Okay.
That is making your own stir-fry sauce.
Okay.
Now, I tend, and you can get different brands of stir-fry sauce, so I tend to keep this on hand so I don't have to make it.
Yes.
But it's very inexpensive to make it, and that's why the recipe is going to give you that little simple way to make your own stir-fry sauce.
Okay.
So you might want to keep that handy when you're doing lots of things.
Sure.
Or, as we're going to do today, we're actually going to just add this at the end.
Okay.
Very quick.
Sure.
So if you have leftover vegetables from other types of events or activities, you can kind of hold on to them and then do a quick stir fry. This is very, very easy to do.
Yeah.
Now, like I say, you don't really cook these until they're limp.
Okay.
Because a stir fry is a technique, it's kind of like you're doing a hot salad. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we don't want them to get limp. We
Right.
just want them to kind of steam just a little bit and then continue cooking. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add the portobello mushrooms now.
Yeah.
And mushrooms cook really quick
Okay.
because they are full of water.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Very full of water, and they're going to add more steam to the mixture.
I can already tell, yeah.
Yeah, you can see the steam kind of coming off, and we want to cook those until, again, they're just a little bit done. They will tend to change color,
Okay.
so we can watch for that.
Okay.
And notice that the asparagus and the onions keep on cooking, and that's why you want to add the vegetable with the most texture first,
Okay.
so that you can keep it going.
Sure.
Now, we added the onion with the asparagus to add some flavor with cooking, too. You might say, well, those onions don't have very much texture. That's true, but they add the flavor.
Okay.
And we're not adding salt and sodium
Okay.
like that. So again, we keep cooking. Now, think about other green vegetables in the spring, Barry. What else could you choose to add instead of asparagus here?
Well,
I'm putting you on the hot seat.
yeah, I don't really know what you're going for exactly, I guess.
Similar texture.
Green beans, maybe?
You could. You could do
Possibly.
green beans.
Yeah.
Or broccoli
Broccoli, okay.
or cauliflower. Very
Okay.
similar
All
texture
right.
to the asparagus.
Well, you know, we've made a green bean stir fry before,
We
and it
did.
was outstanding.
Oh,
so.
yes, it was. So here's another variation. That was, I thought you might remember that. So especially in the summer, if you choose your young tender pods that have very
Yes.
little bean yet,
Okay.
those are great for stir fry.
Yes.
And again, don't cut them too small because
small.
they're full of water. But you can see how this is beginning to cook down.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So always err on the side of undercooking,
Okay.
because after you cook it and get it done, then what you will do is continue to reheat that or heat it with the sauce. It continues to cook, and it will get more limp, and it will lose color and lose texture.
Okay.
So always underdo. So we're going to take this. Now, the secret is, do we want to add the Swiss chard to this mixture?
Okay.
And this is a decision point, and I'm going to go ahead and add I'm going to go ahead and add the stir-fry sauce, okay? And then we can choose later to put this all back, and we can saute. We'll show folks how to do the Swiss chard.
I just want to do it this way?
You can. If you want to do it, I'm going to let you choose. Now, the recipe is the equivalent of about a couple of tablespoons.
Okay, so how many of these do I need probably?
Let's just do it a little at a time. I think you've got a half a cap there, and that's probably the equivalent to about a teaspoon and a half.
Okay.
And this is where, folks, you have the option to flavor at will, okay?
Sure.
You can add a little more. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah. But notice how adding the stir-fry sauce adds moisture, which goes and adds the steaming, okay?
Right.
So again, this mixture is continuing to cook. And I know it's kind of hard for folks to hear us today because this is stir-fry, you know, when we're doing it. But look at the size of the skillet, how it's already gone down. Notice again how our portobello mushrooms are getting smaller. So I tell you what we're going to do. Barry, I will have you, we're going to take and remove this mixture. And I'm just going to put it in a bowl. We'll let it sit for a second. We'll come back. I'll let you add just a little bit more oil. And then the very last thing we're going to do today are the tomatoes. You don't want to add those until the absolute very end because they will get mushy quick. Oh, okay, now that was stir-fry sauce.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
some oil, yes. Okay.
Okay, TV bloopers 101.
It's not a problem. Just go ahead and add the oil. We'll do a flavored oil. How about that? Yeah.
You can't take me out of the house very far, can you?
Okay, folks. So,
my bad.
So let's talk about this, though. If you pick up the wrong thing, we're just going to mix that together because if you don't add the oil to it, what you're going to get, let's remove it, get a little steam going here, okay? Let that heat, is that your stir-fry sauce will caramelize rather quickly. Okay, Barry, now this is chard, and I didn't say Swiss chard. Many people are familiar with chard, but this is called rainbow chard, and look at all the colors of the stem. You know, rainbow chard is a lot like celery, okay? And so what we're going to do, I'm going to move over my cutting board. I'm going to let you kind of stir that until we get ready to use that. Okay, and I'm going to turn the heat down just a little.
Like you said,
we're actually going to take and kind of cut these pieces of the stem into smaller pieces.
Okay.
Kind of like celery.
Sure.
Okay, and let's kind of remove a little bit of this.
Of the stir-fry mess up.
Well, that's okay. We'll get that out. See how that caramelizes, and that's it has a tendency to burn if we don't get that out. So we've got that. So what we're doing is we're cutting these stems off and the chard into smaller pieces. Okay. Just keep stirring. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut these leaves into smaller pieces because Swiss chard is very fibrous. You can see that, okay? But it adds a nice flavor and a nice texture to a lot of different stir-fry dishes.
Very colorful, isn't
it? It is beautiful. And that's why it adds a great number of vitamins and minerals. It's really good. And we often fail to consider it except in the fall or with salads. But let's just kind of do it like greens. Now, you might say, hey, could we do turnip greens this way? Well, we can.
I was going to say, you probably could.
We can, and you just see how good you are. You're doing a great job.
Well, if you'd like to take over, that's fine, not a problem.
No, you're doing, and I will stir, and you add a little bit of kale to that. Remember, for our salad, we had some interesting, if you would like to pick up your favorite pieces, that's a leafy kale. And
do you want that?
What we'll do is just kind of pinch those. Remember, kale comes in different varieties. We'll kind of pinch those into smaller pieces. Remember, the larger the leaf, probably, but look how pretty that is.
Very much
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
And we just kind of stir that around, and you've got the stems that look, and will taste like celery. Okay. And then what we're going to do, Barry, is we're going to add the asparagus mixture. If you could do that, we'll put it back in the skillet, and we'll stir it. But notice how this gets really small. You don't have to cook these very long. You want to kind of taste, but we'll put them all together, and we'll keep stirring.
There you go.
But notice again how pretty those leaves are, and they add texture. It's really nice.
It makes a large serving, doesn't it?
Yes, it goes a long way. Absolutely. Now, do you want to add a little more stir-fry sauce?
Stir-fry.
You love the stir-fry sauce.
Stir-fry, so yeah.
Yes. Very good. Just a little bit more. We'll continue to stir just a tad. That's it. That's good.
Okay.
Okay, and look how this is plating up very nicely. Very nice. And it's done. So we're going to turn off the heat as it will continue to cook, but you don't, again, want to cook too long. That's what we're saying, but just look at this delightful little main dish.
Oh, yeah.
And we can plate some up and be right back in just a moment.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Barry, we're back for the final step. You've done a great job adding the chard and the kale, which gives more texture and more color.
Yes.
So the final step is just simply to stir in those beautiful cherry tomatoes. And now we just heat for a very short moment until that's all heated up and it is ready to plate up. In fact, I don't even like to cook the tomatoes hardly at all. I like them to have their texture and kind of taste like they're fresh, because tomatoes tend to get very limp on cooking.
Yes, they do. Yep.
So I want them to be the last thing, and I kind of lay those down and then just pretty much, when they're just warm, plate this up. And isn't this a pretty dish?
It's beautiful.
It is a beautiful dish. So we have a hot salad on the plate.
Yes.
When normally we could have it cold, but why not hot with a little bit of stir fry? It's very pretty and very tasty.
And I'm guessing if you wanted to add like grilled chicken or maybe beef, you could do that as well too?
Yes, and you would do the process just like we did, where we kind of removed the vegetables and then sauteed the chard, remove that, saute your beef or your chicken breast.
Right.
Easy, very easy.
So very good.
Okay.
Well, hey, this is looks great.
Yes.
We're going to taste this here just in a second after we finish this taping, and I know you guys probably are thinking, why not us? Well, if you want to make it, it's very easy to do. We'll give you the recipe. You can get it in one of two ways. You can email me at North Central. My email address there is barry.hyatt@nctc.com, or simply go to our website. It's www.nctc.com. And we make sure that all our recipes that we do here with Janet are on our website. So it's always easy. You can go back a couple of months if you want to.
Absolutely, and check for demonstrations on how to do it.
Most certainly. Well, Janet, thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck this rest of the summer as far as all the fun things you'll be doing. I'm sure you're going to be going on vacation somewhere, aren't you?
Somewhere. We're looking at Chicago and some other places, but we'll see.
Cool.
Yes.
Well, maybe you can get some recipe ideas when you're in Chicago.
I love the food in Chicago.
Maybe we'll make a pizza or something like that. Who knows?
That would be fun.
That would be cool.
Yes.
Well, thanks so much, and thank you guys for watching. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you back here again real soon.